The first action would be to open your rib cage, not too much, just enough that you feel some tension in your rib cage so that you can feel it and also keep it still. And then you can do this while standing or sitting on the floor in a chair. Slowly move your shoulders forwards and then relax. Notice that I'm not moving my chest as I do so, shoulders forward, then relax, and then continue the same action but focus on feeling the inside edge of your shoulder blades. So as you move your shoulders forward, feel the inside edge of your shoulder blades moving outwards, and then relax. And then what you could do is actively pull on the inside edges of your shoulders to spread your shoulder blades and then relax. And what that should be doing is activating the serratus anterior muscle, which pulls the shoulder blades forward relative to the rib cage. One thing to be aware of, that you aren't activating your pec major muscles to pull your arm bones forwards. So as you spread your shoulder blades, be aware of your pecs, try to keep them relaxed. Next action is reverse. Chest lifted again, move your shoulders back, and then relax, move your shoulders back, and as you do so you can focus on feeling the inside edges of your shoulder blades moving inwards, and then relax. And then what you could focus on doing is actively pulling inwards on the inside edges of your shoulder blades so that you activate the rhomboid. Then relax, rhomboids engaged, and then relax. And those two are complements. The serratus anterior muscle spreads the shoulder blades, the rhomboids retract them. Now variation, and this uses the trapezius, which runs from here to the top of the shoulder blade and collarbone, and also from the bottom here up to the spine of the shoulder blade. For that action, I'd suggest drawing inwards, but also pulling the shoulder blades down the back so that you're more likely to activate the trapezius muscle. And then relax, draw the shoulder blades inwards and down. Practice both of those in isolation. What you could do is retract the shoulder blades, lift them slightly to maximize the chance of activating the rhomboids, and then draw them down to activate your trapezius. All of those actions, try practicing them smoothly and slowly, and try to feel, rather than just doing the movement, try and focus on feeling in particular the inner edge of your shoulder blade while doing those actions. Another shoulder blade awareness exercise that I like to do both while sitting and or standing is lifting the shoulders. And for this, again, start with your chest slightly lifted and emphasize, I suggest lengthening your neck. Draw your ears away from your shoulders. You could also focus, pull the back of your head back and up so the back of your neck feels long. And while sitting or standing, lift the shoulders and try and draw the peaks of your shoulders up towards your ears, not necessarily inwards, but upwards, and then relax, lift up. If you need to, you can move your arms slightly outwards. You might find that makes it easier to lift your shoulders high and then relax. And if you have trouble, what may help is, again, lift your chest, lengthen your neck, focus on one shoulder at a time. You could try moving the shoulders slightly forward or back. See if there is a groove or a position that makes it easier to lift the shoulder up, and then relax, and then try the same thing with the other side. Lift the shoulder, let the arm move out, try moving the shoulder forward or back slightly to see if that enables you to lift the shoulder higher, and then do them both together again. Lift as high as you can. You could focus on this shoulder, and then the other shoulder, alternate, drawing them up high, and then relax. And when you're relaxing, try to let your shoulders sink down. So rather than just suddenly relaxing, and there's benefit in suddenly relaxing, but for this exercise, see if you can gradually relax, let your shoulders sink down, 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 down. And when you're moving up, it can be focus on moving up, continually moving up, keep your neck long, move up, and then relax. And repeat that, say 3 to 5 times or more. If you're doing an exercise like plank or chaturanga, what I would suggest is practicing those same shoulder movements with the arms in different positions. So say if you're moving into plank, try the same exercise, and this could be done also in cat pose. Arms forward, spread your shoulder blades, move your shoulders forwards, and then relax. And spread your shoulder blades, and then relax. And notice that I'm not bending my spine forward in order to bend the shoulder, in order to spread the shoulder blades. So what I'll see often in plank, or cat pose is whenever people spread the shoulder blades, they also do this action. So they're bending their spine forward. So instead, try to keep the rib cage still. It isn't to say that you have to keep your rib cage still all the time that you move your shoulder blades, but for this exercise where you're focusing on isolating the shoulders, learning to feel them, do keep your rib cage and your neck still. So to start with, lengthen your neck so you have a little bit of tension in your neck, so it gives you a feel for your neck, make your neck feel long. Lift your chest at the same time so your chest has a little bit of tension that makes it feel, gives you a feeling of openness. Arms forward, they can be slightly relaxed rather than like this, and shoulders forward. Notice I'm not moving my chest, nor am I changing the bend in my spine. And then relax, shoulders forward, then relax. And then you can do the same thing moving backwards, shoulders back. So draw the inner edges of the shoulder blades together, and then relax, shoulders back, inside edges of the shoulder blades together and back. This action, particularly moving backwards, can be difficult with the arms shoulder width. So if you have difficulty, widen your arms initially. So widen your arms out to the side, again, chest open, neck long, draw your shoulders back, retract the shoulder blades, and then relax. Suggest trying the same thing. So if you're doing, say, tabletop or reverse plank, all of these actions, even plow pose. So if you're moving into plow pose with the arms unclasped, you could be retracting the shoulder blades. So for any of those positions, you could practice the same thing. So with the arms back, it may be helpful to bend the chest forward, bend the lumbar spine, thoracic spine forward, reach the arms back as far as you're able. If you need to, widen the arms out to the side slightly and do the same thing. I'm going to bring my chin to my chest, the back of my neck feels long. Shoulders, let's do forward first, spread the shoulder blades, relax. Shoulders forward, spread the shoulder blades, relax. And I'm feeling a little bit of tension here, so I'm probably using a little bit, not my scapular stabilizer. So if I do it slowly, I can focus on spreading my shoulder blades, so the action is coming more from my serratus anterior, these muscles here, and then relax. And then do the opposite, I'm going to move back. Shoulders back, shoulder blades together, relax. And here again, it may be more difficult with the arms back, but see if you can focus on the inside edges of the shoulder blades using either the rhomboids or the trapezius. The shoulder blades together, and then relax. A lot of yoga traditions, people are taught, so for Prasarita Padottanasana, see the hands are clasped and the arms are lifted up. Bridge pose, here again. Sorry if I'm out of frame, but the hands are clasped behind the back. The same with plow pose. In all of those positions, the hands are clasped. And clasping the hands makes it easier to not move the shoulder, to not use the shoulders. You may be, because the hands are clasped, you can use the arms against each other to pull the hands apart. And that's a different feeling than if the hands are apart than if the hands are apart. If the hands are apart, forces you to use either your rhomboids or your trapezius to draw the shoulder blades back. Also maybe using the muscles attached to the shoulder blade to the upper arm bone to draw the arms inward. So it's a different feeling, and that applies for any position where your one part of the body is in contact with the other and there's tension. It changes the way that your body moves. So what I'd suggest is practice arm behind the back movements with the hands actually unclasped, and then try it with the hands clasped. Those movements again, hands apart, shoulders forwards, relax, and then shoulders back, relax. And we've done arms forward. If you're working towards headstand, handstand, or starting off, say, with upward dog, try the same thing with the arms up in the air. With your neck long, chest open, lift your shoulders, then relax. And what you could also do is try lifting your ribs as well. So lift your shoulders, lift your ribs as well, and then relax. Excuse me. Another action you could focus on is with the shoulders lifted, with the arms lifted, with the shoulders lifted, you could retract the shoulder blades, draw them in, and then relax. Repeat that a few times, and or do the opposite. Move the shoulders forwards. So protract the shoulder blades with the arms lifted and the shoulders lifted, and then relax. Just as a tip for headstand, bound headstand with hands clasped behind the head. What I normally do when I teach headstand is I would start with this exercise, lifting the arms up and lowering them with the elbows straight, then with the hands clasped, and you could have the hands open and cupping the back of the head, or you have the palms together with the inside edges of the wrists against the back of the head, and then you can do the same thing. Lift the shoulders so the elbows move up and then relax. Or you could focus on spreading the shoulder blades. So spreading the shoulder blades moves the shoulders forwards, and that causes the elbows to move up and relax. It might be easier with the hands clasped, cupping the head. Spread the shoulder blades and then relax. And then you use that action actually in headstand. Use your shoulders to push your elbows into the floor just enough that the pressure on your elbows balances the pressure on the crown of the head or the outside edges of your hands, so that you can control your balance. And that may be particularly important when you've got your legs forward. So if I'm in a headstand here, I'll use my shoulders. Again, sorry if this is out of frame. I'll use my shoulders to push my elbows into the floor. That gives me some leverage to lift my feet off of the floor, and there I can hold this position relatively comfortably. What can be more important in some poses is first developing ribcage awareness and ribcage stability. Why? What I found is even trying to stabilize my shoulder blades or my arms in, say, a position like this where I'm trying to lift my feet off of the air, and there it's relatively easy. Ask me to hold it and I have a little bit more difficulty. What I found is I get more benefit by actually lifting and expanding my rib cage. So then the shoulder muscles that attach between the rib cage, spine, and the shoulder blades then have a stable foundation. They have the rib cage from which to work on actually supporting the shoulder blades. So if you think of stability, if you're building a building, you need the first floor stable before you can put up the second floor. You need the second floor and the first floor stable before you can put up the third floor. So this could be a similar thing, only working outwards from the body. Stabilize the rib cage so the shoulder blades have a stable foundation. Stabilize the shoulder blades so that the shoulders have a stable foundation, then elbows and hands. So for a pose like this, I might expand my rib cage first, and then set up my shoulders, either moving them forward or back, or lifting them, or letting my shoulders move away from my ears so that my rib cage gets closer to the floor. So with my rib cage expanded, I can then lift my feet and actually hold it. And that's actually, I can hold a little bit longer with my rib cage lifted than if, with my rib cage expanded, than if I don't expand my rib cage first. Then it's just like push up and release. And this is something I'm just working on currently. Another pose where I found that rib cage stability is important prior to shoulder blade stability is an L sit-up. And so for this action too, I find if I expand my rib cage first, so if I lift my front and back ribs and then set up my shoulders relative to my rib cage, I can actually lift up a little bit more easy than if I don't expand and stabilize my rib cage first. So let's try that one more time. Hopefully you can see it a bit better. So one of the actions I do with this, so I'll expand my rib cage first, but the other thing I'll do is I'll spread my shoulder blades. Why? Because another important idea with setting up your alignment or the relationship of the parts of the body to each other is to give the different muscles, particularly the muscles that are going to be doing most of the work, giving them room to move. So if I spread the shoulder blades, what I believe, and if additionally I rotate the arms outwards, what that does is that gives the latissimus dorsi a bit of pre-stretch. So then my lats, which pull down on my arms, which are pushing down on the floor, which in turn pulls my rib cage up, my lats have room to actually contract and keep my body lifted. And there's all sorts of other muscles activating as well. But that was also why in an earlier video I suggested drawing the rib cage up so that the belly lengthens. So then it's easier to use your abs. They don't have to contract through such a large distance. So if you're standing, if you're doing any sort of standing work, you stabilize your hips first, Then your spinal erectors can be used to open up your ribs. Then your ribs act as a foundation for your abs to, they actually draw the abs away, they lengthen the abs by pulling away from the pelvis. So your abs have pretension. It's then easier to activate them, whether you want to bend forward or backwards, or use them to twist or side bend, or just control the spine. So from there, you could use your abs to control the pelvis relative to the rib cage, or you can use your abs to turn the rib cage relative to the pelvis. But going back to the, could be called a vinyasa lift up. So I'll expand my rib cage, spread my shoulder blades, lean back so my weight is over my hands, so rib cage expanded, shoulder blades spread. Whoa. Like so. Now, one of my dreams would be able to hold that comfortably for 5 or so breaths, but at least I've got a start on it. Anyway, hopefully that was helpful. Remember, practice slowly moving your shoulders while feeling your shoulder blades, and keep your rib cage still so that you learn to feel your shoulders in isolation. Then it's that much easier to use your shoulders and rib cage in different combinations in different ways depending on what you are trying to do at the time. Namaste. Thanks very much for watching.